Hello, everybody listening to the Fair Weather Podcast. Your boy 2K Suave. I'm joined with Mr. Victor Rivera. I'm also joined with Mr. Alex Rodriguez. He is breaking his fast as we speak. So the energy is about to be live in full effect. But I'm gonna kick it off with you, Vic. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. KK, I am wearing the jersey of the CONCACAF Nations League champions, the United States men's national team. As we saw over the weekend, Gio Reyna, player of the tournament, even though he's not getting any minutes at Nottingham Forest, he still managed to have 2 assists and a goal over the weekend, over the last week, I should say. Another 2-0 against Mexico. Love to see it. Those boys down south are down bad right now. They are down bad. Have not beaten the United States since 2018, I believe.
Oh shit, we on the up and up, huh?
Yep. Last nine contests, I believe.
All right, I like that. I like that. Hey, Rod, talk to me.
Good, man. Just trying to get this mic thing fixed. Does that sound good, right? We're good?
Yep, you're good.
Perfect. Good.
But if you yell, I won't be mad.
Got a lot to yell about today.
All right, cool. So just so y'all know, I'm wearing a Notorious
Yeah.
B.I.G. Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die T-shirt
Hmm.
by one of my favorite, if not my favorite rapper of all time, Mr. Big Smalls. And the reason, part of the reason why this show exists, obviously sports is the crux of everything. But in case you haven't been able to tell by now, there's a component of hip hop and stuff that we like to kind of just throw in from time to time. And
What have I
today,
been? What have I
what's
been
up?
telling? I said, what have I been telling you for like the past month and a half now about this whole thing?
Well, let me say something. So when the Puff Daddy information came out about Cassie a few months ago, the first thing I said, if they say he did it, he did it. I was like, I mean, I wasn't even going to argue that. Anything they say that he's ever done, I believe that he did it, right? And now shit has hit the fan. Shit, they raided his house, Homeland Security. It was there, all the speculation was that this guy is here, is trying to run away, and he has a helicopter and Bermuda. I don't know. All this crazy shit was going on, and then in the spirit of keeping the wacky, funny, crazy thing I've seen this week, um, former Syracuse basketball player Brandon Paul was part of the was this drug mule, and they found him at the airport with drugs on him. So um, just to kind of just talk about the hip hop side of it before I get to this drug mule situation. This is a crazy time. Over the last 20 years, we've been seeing all these people who are billionaires or close to billionaires. I don't know what goes on in these rooms up there because they all hang out, and the more and more we see this kind of shit, it's crazy to me. It really is. I try to make light of the situation, but it is really crazy. All the stuff that came out about him. Who knows what's real, what's not. Who knows what the feds is trying to do. But what we do know is that where there's smoke, there's fire. But on a lighter note, Brendan Paul, how does he get involved? How does a random Syracuse basketball player get involved with all of this? Like, Aaron, I don't know if you followed along with any of this stuff. Like, you
Well,
probably are a little bit more tapped in more than me.
oh yeah, the memes were hilarious, man. I loved it, man. It was funny in the beginning, but now I'm completely over it. I think we live in a society where I'm doing that. We live in a society where we're quick to judge somebody, and the man has no allegations. All right, there's
Yeah.
not a single thing that has been given to him. And every time I open up Twitter, they're like, "Oh, Diddy did that shit." Like, okay, the thing with Cassie, I get that. That's but Cassie could have took it another step further, but she got paid off and she got her hush money, and that's what it is. So that's nipped you in the butt. And I feel like we're in an era where media can be your best friend. You can say whatever you want, and anybody and anyone will come out the woodworks to try and gather a conjuring of people just to take somebody down. I'm not saying a lot of these people what they did in the past they were right. No, I'm like Harvey Weinstein and Epstein and R. Kelly. Like that's definitely shit that went down that should be prosecuted for and taken note of. But with this whole Diddy thing, he's got no allegations. It's just word of mouth of things that Diddy did. I 100% believe Diddy is one crazy individual that likes to party and have fun. You saw his Halloween costume. Like, that's all you had to learn from that.
It's a little wild.
He almost got into it with one of the members of Power for that, and he had no idea
A little
who he
wild.
was.
A
Yeah,
little cray cray.
but now like people are saying like Jay-Z's part of this and all of that, which is wild to me. And if I'm naive to all of this, then so be it. Like I'll eat crow on all of this, but I honestly think like they just live a wild life and people are jealous and they're trying to get at them. And
I
I
don't
was
know, man. If they send Homeland Security after you, that's I mean, if they got a case,
but anything with drug related, they will send for you. And I believe Diddy has drugs and guns and stuff like that more for his surrounding thing. Come on, what rapper doesn't have drugs and guns and shit like that? Like, I completely understand that. But for the Paul guy, couldn't cut it in the NBA, had to make money somehow. So come on over to Bad Boy Records.
but when and Mace was talking about, like, when you think about it, everybody who's associated himself with Puff, there's been something that goes off or wrong. So for me, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's no way I could just say he's clear of any guilt
But
whatsoever.
who's gone wrong? The only one is Notorious B.I.G. That's the only one that I can think of.
Biggie passed. Shine took a charge for him. That he paid
No,
off.
we know Shine. That was
He
out
paid him to not say anything, basically. Danity Kane, that whole shit kind of blew up a little bit.
there. The fucking
Cassie, he obviously did things wrong to her. Loon disappeared. Mace had to go to the
dead.
church because he was going through it. Like, let's be honest, everybody. Not Naomi Campbell, his ex-wife.
You could look.
Word on the street, he tried to hush her up. Word on
You
the
could,
street.
you could look at Jay
Big
too.
Sean's car blew up.
Fuck Big Sean, man.
Listen, let me tell you, A-Rod, I think you're just, I don't think you want to believe this, but you got to understand when they're, naive is one thing, but if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's not a damn chicken.
It's not that I don't want to believe it. If it happens, it happens, and I'm okay with it 100%. But the quick for people, somebody said that I was watching, it's like, we're quick, like, it's his own peers. Like, the black community is already turned against him. And it's like, why would you do that? That's like your own peer. That's like someone
Because
that, look,
when there's been rappers that have been, who have been, or, people in the media who have been brought into like these kind of questionable things. And whether it's black or not, we'll know, all right, we'll have his back. We have his back. Diddy, everyone has always been on the same page about Diddy. He's a little questionable. That's why they turned their back so quick, because it wasn't like they said something about.
but my thing is with Diddy is like, it's not one thing. It's like one day he's fucking dudes. Let me stop saying that. He's having sex with dudes. Then the next day he's got a drug operation. Then he's got all these things. And
I mean, there was that case about Cuba Gooding Jr. Grooming this dude, and Diddy set them. And I saw photos and stuff. I believe it. I'm like, bro, this is a little shaky. A little shaky. That's all I'm gonna say. I know, A-Rod. I know this is tough. I know this is tough because this is our childhood. It's Bad Boy, but bruh,
it made more money than problems, man. And it's true.
everybody has said the same thing about him. Like, everybody, historically, everybody. It's like it's there's got to be something there. Whether it's the whole package, that's one thing. We don't know how much it can be, but there's definitely smoke. There's definitely fire. I just don't know what the extent of that is, but yeah, it's crazy to me. But Vic, I know we kind of just boxed you out of the paint. Do you have anything to add to this crazy scenario that we're dealing with Mr. Brother Love?
Now you have the wrong former county sports host on for that. I have no idea what's going on. I saw that Diddy left the country, but that's about it.
And got his hair cut while he was doing it. So
Yeah, good for him.
Oh, really? All right. And then to other hip hop things, and we're about to tie the sports back into it. There's always been this friendly rivalry between not friendly. There's always been this underlying rivalry between Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar finally came back and said something. So we won't waste our time talking about that too much because that's a whole nother topic we can talk about. But what that brought me to is that we've been watching sports our whole lives, and there's always been individual player rivalries, whether it's the NBA, MLB, NFL, hockey, tennis. We always see it all the time. So I wanted to take a little trip down memory lane, and I'll start with you, Vic, since I know you can talk about sport rivalries. Has there been? What would you say are some of your favorite like individual rivalries between two different athletes?
Um, I would go obviously old school here. Magic and Bird, I think, is the one that comes to mind if we're talking individual athletes.
Yeah.
LeBron versus the media, aka Skip Bayless, for a long time.
Yeah, Bayless got a little jump shot, by the way. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yeah.
Stephen A has 24 hours to respond because Skip Bayless has a jump shot. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and Red Sox, Yankees. So Nomar and Jeter when they were first coming up, that was a big one for me, individual wise. Even though they were more friends than they were enemies, I guess. But that's probably the three biggest that come to mind if I'm talking individuals in sport. Tiger versus the field when it was on his tear. I mean,
question: Tiger and Phil,
yeah.
There had to be something there, right?
Oh yeah, they definitely dislike each other. Well, probably not anymore, but they did at the time. I know they did. Phil was the more outgoing guy, and Tiger was the laser focused.
Yeah.
Psychopath when it came to preparing for tournaments. So, I think there was something there, but since then they've done shit together. So, it might have reignited the rivalry with Phil going to live, but that was a good one for a little bit. I think it was a little bit overblown though, because Tiger had Phil's number like 98% of the time. I think Phil got a couple tournaments, a couple majors off of him, but let's be honest, there was no competition for Tiger Woods.
But even if there's no competition, it doesn't change the fact that there's all think about it. In the 90s, think about Michael Jordan, right? I mean, he was just beating everybody. Michael Jordan versus let's think, John Stockton and Karl Malone, right? Like maybe that was something. Or Rob, who would you think of? Who would you say like individually Michael Jordan had like the most, you know, like little rivalry with in the NBA? If you can think of anybody. Oh, Isaiah Thomas?
No, everybody.
I would say Sam Bowie. Poor Sam Bowie getting selected second.
I would say everybody. I would say really everybody because he was locking it down when he was in there and then in the 90s, just taking title after title. So, I mean, Karl Malone was kind of one. When he came to the Garden, he would destroy the Knicks and take over Patrick Ewing in the Garden.
Starks could be one.
Charles Barkley was another good one.
Yeah.
All of everybody, man, in the 90s. Nobody wanted to be Jordan's.
Apparently his own teammates too.
Yeah.
Scotty,
GM, the
GM. Jay Krause, yeah.
Hey, Rob, what rivalry did you like?
I liked the 90s rivalry in the home run chase with Mark McGwire and Sam.
That was good.
The reason why I became a baseball fan, by the way, guys, is that specific situation right there.
Yeah, that was big for me. I really enjoyed that. And then of course basketball was Jordan versus the world for me when I was a kid watching that. And then when I got to high school, it became the hype of LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. Which one is better? It wasn't really a rivalry. It was more of like, match my level type thing. And they both matched each other's energy coming out of high school out of high school, one out of Syracuse to the pros. And then as we got, older and football was coming around and Peyton Manning, Tom Brady was a good matchup to see all the time, made for TV every time. You get to see it at least once a year, it felt like, or in the playoffs, someone was going to have to go on from there. So yeah, those are mine.
So I pulled up this list of some really good ones that we're not even talking about. So this one, if you watched it, like I think that at 30 for 30 or E60, whatever. But Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, you want to talk about lyrical exercise? Back then, they were going at it, and they fought almost to the death a few times. Like shit got crazy between the two of them. That one was a really good one. Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's a good one.
that one, I mean, it's like when you think about the individuals in our lifetime that we watch. We've seen some really good like legends in the game, right? Like Nadal and Federer and Djokovic were all playing at the same time. And then I know in the '90s, you had like Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi and all those people.
Yeah.
Another one. What would you say, Vic? Do you think Messi and Ronaldo have like
Mm.
a true like I like them, but for each other? What do you think about that?
I don't even think they like each other. I would be honest. I think they're like
they like
sure.
I think they're probably cordial, but I don't know if they.
Yeah,
Like
that's the way I see it. KK. They're cordial. I don't think they like each other. I don't think I would see them hanging out with one another out in a party. You know what I mean? They don't. That's probably. I can't believe I forgot that one. That's a great rivalry. Probably the best one that we've seen in terms of two individuals going at it. Because they, for a long time they were at the same level. And you hear Michael and LeBron compared all the time, but these are two people that didn't play at the same time.
Right.
These are two of the greatest footballers of all time playing at the same time, which is crazy to think about.
Well, and then another one that came up was Pele and Maradona. See, we weren't alive for that, but apparently that was also a thing back then. It was basically Ronaldo and Messi.
But Pele was getting older then too.
Yeah, Pele was pretty old by the time I think Maradona came around.
Yeah.
I think he was in his late 30s by the time, but they didn't have the same level of competition. Well, I shouldn't say that. So Pele, like you would think, this guy probably played his career like in the Premier League or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But no, Pele played his whole career pretty much in Brazil for Santos.
They never played each other, but for whatever reason, they were always pitted against one another. And when you think about it, some of the best sports rivalries, like between individuals, are the rivalries that force you to pick a side, right? It's like, all right, pick a side, and that would bring me the reason why this Kendrick Lamar thing and J.Cole thing kind of happened was because basically it was like, yo, you got to pick a side, and
you realize it's more Drake, right? It's more Drake.
He was just an innocent bystander.
Drake got it most than J. Cole. Drake got it more.
But you got to understand, everyone knows that over the last 10 years, Drake is a pop star that can rap. It's always been who's lyrically better, J. Cole or Kendrick.
Who's gonna take it more seriously? Who is gonna take it more seriously?
Cole.
No, I think Drake is gonna take it more seriously.
Let's listen. We're gonna leave Drake. We leaving Drake out of this. Is Cole and
Drake out of this. Drake deserves all the smoke that he gets.
No,
J. Cole was just questionable to me, but rap is territorial. It's a territorial thing now. I had to have a sit down with my best friend, and we talked about it. He's like, I don't want to see all these dudes buddy hugging it up, dapping it up. It's territorial, and that's how it has to be.
It's competitive. It's not. It's not. I don't like you. It's just competitive, man.
It's territorial, bro.
Yeah. See, this is the problem.
Future and Matt Newman were doing stuff with Drake for the longest, albums, all of that. Kendrick did one song with Future, and then this pops off out of nowhere.
Listen, I'm somebody who loves Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. I don't got to pick a side. I like LeBron a little bit more than the other ones, but I like them all. I like, I don't mind being a fan of more than one. Like, I don't like to be the one that has to pick a side. You know what I mean? And I feel like with the thing with Jordan and Kobe, that was one that really bothered me the most because, I mean, Kobe was drafted with 96, LeBron was drafted 03. And I feel like the world was so quick. It was like it became like a Tupac and Biggie thing. It was like everybody in the West in California was Kobe is the greatest of all time. Everybody in the Midwest and some of the East, everybody who are not the biggest Jordan fans
were not in California,
right? So it became like this like rivalry between LeBron and Kobe that. Honestly, like their paths were very different. Like by the time LeBron got to the league, Kobe he'd already three-peated. Like he was already established. LeBron became established. Like to me, that rivalry was something that forced people to pit themselves against one another. And then it became, well, I hate Kobe and I hate LeBron. Like when I was growing up, my favorite basketball player was Allen Iverson. It was the same thing with Iverson. I had to pick a side in middle school. I remember, and I was like, I mean, Kobe is cool and everything, but I'm an Iverson guy. So I grew to we talked about this after Kobe passed. I'm like, I honestly grew like a slight disdain for him early on in his career because I'm like, everyone keeps telling me he's better than Iverson, and at that age, I didn't give a shit. No one could tell me nothing about Iverson. To me, Iverson was just the greatest at that time. But it's like that was just the way it was. Like you just get pitted. Like think about it, Gucci Man and Young Jeezy. You had to pick a side. Like nobody could just like not pick a side. And it's just crazy when we talk about hip hop and sports, how much they really are very similar because it's very competitive.
It's hard to pick a side with Cole and Kendrick because I like them both.
Oh, it's easy for me. I'm Cole all day. I'm Cole all day.
It's hard for me, man. Kendrick is really, really good. I feel like a lot of people, sleep on Kendrick and his talent. Like Kendrick has just like been dormant, and
he ain't slept on. He got hella Grammys. He's successful.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have. So is Drake, but like people are on his nuts all day, man, about that man.
Why?
Like,
but why though? A-Rod, think about it. Let's be honest.
I know
Has
why.
he not deserved the Grammys that he got? Like, he makes them. If he puts on a show, he's gonna sell out in 2 seconds. Like, he able to attract women, men, all these people. Like, but Drake is what he is. He's a pop star that can rap.
I don't care about Drake. Drake can get ethered in a day. He's gonna have his ghostwriters all there. I'm just waiting for Pusha T to pull up and drop something. So
hey, but Meek Mill never recovered from Drake. Let's be honest.
Huh?
Meek Mill never recovered from Drake. Never recovered, and that's my boy. He never recovered.
It's true. I don't know. Championships was pretty good. Championship.
It was good, and then it was done. Like it didn't have like the lasting success.
He recovered though,
and then it was done. But we could, A-Rod, we could talk about this all day, but we're gonna move on. I'm Team J.Cole. I'm Team LeBron. I'm Team Iverson. I'm Team Muhammad Ali. I'm Team Biggie. Now you know where I stand. I pick my side. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Let's jump into the NFL real quick. There's been some rule changes, and I really want to get some quick opinions on that. Before we get to rule changes, since last week, has anything happened? Oh, L'Jarius Sneed got traded to the Titans. That's
Clowney this morning. I'm PO'd about that.
Because he visited y'all, right?
Yeah, we gave him a time. Turned it down.
The Titans, they screwed up with AJ, but shit, they turning some shit around right now. You see, this is the power of having a good quarterback. CJ Stroud put that whole division on notice. Like Trevor Lawrence didn't even have that kind of impact. Everybody saw what CJ Stroud could do. They're like, we got to load up. So the Titans are loading up. The Patriots, Vic, are y'all still dormant?
Yeah, I mean, we don't spend money. We have a shit owner, so we're just chilling. And then now there's rumblings that we're going to trade out of the third pick for some reason.
I heard that.
I mean, how stupid could an organization be? I mean, it's just absolutely a disaster there in New England. I don't understand the point. You don't know when you're going to be in this position again to be able to draft. There's three, maybe four possible franchise-changing quarterbacks here, right? With ceilings of being a franchise, changing quarterback. And for some reason the Patriots find it as, let's trade down. And then let's finish, 6-6 next year and get the 10th overall pick. I don't understand.
How far down are they looking at? Are you hearing they looking at?
Everything I'm seeing is the Vikings trading down, getting the 11th and the 23rd from the Vikings, and then we get the 11th, the 23rd, and like next year's first or some shit. But the Vikings are already a good team. If the Vikings get a quarterback, the Vikings get a quarterback, and then next year's. It's not like we're trading with the Carolina Panthers here.
AJ McCarthy's shooting up.
He is. I've also seen mock drafts where we're taking him over Jaden Daniels, which just makes me want to throw up.
Well, think about it. If you already know he's gonna probably be there for you at 11. At 11, you could get a Bo Nix, you could get a McCarthy, you could get like a Brock Bauer, and then 23 gets you a Spencer Rattler or something like that.
I don't think JJ McCarthy gets past the top 10. And Spencer Rattler, Jesus Christ, talk about a goddamn train wreck. I'd rather jump off a bridge than see him suit up for the Pats. He is. I saw. Have you guys seen that show QB1 on Netflix? It
Yeah.
follows these kids in high school. Like Spencer
Yeah.
Rattler was one of the kids that was shown, and he is just a villain, dude.
I thought he was gonna be great. Like I really
We all
did.
did.
What a fall from grace. Like
He's a
that one
dick.
really sucks.
He's a dick.
He's a
He's a dick.
dick, bro.
That's
Damn.
that's for real though. I think that's what you said, right, Aaron? He's a dick. You can't be a good leader of men if you're a dick.
So, are there any other quarterbacks in this draft that are not the guys that we're all talking about that may have turned any heads at all over the last couple of months since the combine and pro days?
No.
What about that Tennessee kid?
No.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
He
But
ran like a 4.5 today. He's like 260 pounds. He has like a cam build. I don't know, man. I feel like if you could get all right. I got Pro Football Focus pulled up here because we like to give little statistics and everything. The way they got it, PFF got it ranked: Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy 4, Bo Nix 5, Michael Penix 6. You can get Michael Penix at 11 or 23.
I'm looking at the latest NFL mock draft on ESPN, and they have
mock draft.
they have Bo Nix going in the first round to the Raiders, and I think that they don't have the Patriots taking a quarterback until the 5th round, and it's Spencer Rattler. So kill me now.
Oh, it's right, Spencer Rattler.
In the 5th.
What's the word on Jordan Travis? Has anybody said anything positive about him?
The Jets have been looking at him. I saw.
Damn.
The one quarterback that I think that's not wasn't initially in the top conversation that played himself up in since the season ended was J.J. McCarthy. I mean,
yeah,
he's now looking. I mean, he could be a top 4 pick. We'll see, but yeah, I think that's somebody to look out for. This draft sucks. They have Malik Neighbors going 6th, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. going 9th. I don't know. This guy is fucking.
Don't listen to that. But you got to think. So, as a Michigan fan, obviously, I know what J.J. McCarthy possesses inside of him. We just didn't allow him to beat J.J. McCarthy because the reason why Harbaugh was like I'll do anything to make sure I get J.J. McCarthy. The dude was a legit 5-star dual threat quarterback coming out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And his skill set is actually there. We just kind of handicapped him because it's like playing for Georgia Tech. Who knew Calvin Johnson was going to be one of the greatest receivers of all time in that offense with nothing but running backs and quarterbacks who can't throw. But he got to the NFL. He's the first ballot Hall of Fame. So you never know what kind of situation may end up in. But
yeah, but how many
J.J. McCarthy thing is it is all over the place. I'm very curious to see where he goes. I just hope he doesn't go to the Giants or because I can't.
And I think it could be like an Anthony Davis or even like a Devin Booker situation where in college they weren't able to play their type of offense. Like this is basketball to football, a little bit different, but Devin Booker in college wasn't really running like he is now or playing like he is now in the NBA. So when he got to the NBA, he changed his style completely, and now look at him, he's an all-star, perennial all-star, perennial all NBA team. So yeah, I think that's something that JJ McCarthy can become as well. That could be something that you'll look forward to if you're JJ McCarthy.
Devin Booker came off the bench in Kentucky, which is like whoa, and they still I didn't put it on the agenda, but I got John Calipari, bro. Like it's like I understand you get players to the NBA, but holy shit, like you can't beat freaking Oakland. like that whole Kentucky situation is like it goes back to what we've been saying. Grown men win these tournaments, not a bunch of freshmen. Like the days of one and done freshmen win, like that's not not in today's college. I mean, think about it. NIL, people are staying longer. Like, cool, I'll stay a little bit longer. Like, yeah,
and I know we don't have it on the docket, but I just want to bring this up real quick.
Yeah.
Does anybody think that this is probably one of the most boring tournaments we've had in a long time? I mean, it's pretty much chalk. All 2 seeds have made it through. All 1 seeds have made it through. No major upsets. Is this the first time a 2 seed hasn't been upset in the first round in a long time, right?
What did I say?
My final 4 is so the one in our bracket, our Fair Weather podcast bracket. my dumb ass, picked Kentucky to make it to the Final Four. I wasn't really thinking, but the one I did for my job, because that one I actually took for whatever reason I took that one a little bit more seriously. Sorry guys, my Final Four is still intact. 7 of my Elite 8 are still there because Arizona, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna make it. UNC, of course, UConn, Houston, like there's been close calls. Obviously, there was a few upsets, but for the most part, it's playing out how we expected to pretty much play out. Like let's be honest. And I think when the Sweet 16 kind of rolls around, now that the teams are better, I think we'll start to see just better basketball in general. But I forgot what show I was watching, but they were talking about it. Like honestly, like more people have been a little bit more interested in the women's tournament than the men's tournament. And it's not like the women's tournament has been that much better.
Right.
We know the players. Like we actually like. Oh, I want to see what. Like I literally turned on the USC game the other day. I'm like, let me watch Juju Watkins. Like I actually wanted to watch Juju Watkins. I look at the men's tournament. There's no player that I turn the TV on to watch. Like
No.
think about it. I'm a Tar Heel guy. I'm not turning on the TV to watch Baycott. Like I'm not. No, that's boring. Like I know I want to see Caitlin Clark shoot from the logo. I want to see Juju Watkins break someone's ankles. I want to see Angel Reese do this. Like I want to see Flage do like. It's a little bit more exciting because basketball is a player-driven type of deal, and the NBA has figured that part out. College basketball, it's all about the coaches, the blue bloods, the fans storming the courts. This is a little different. So, in the world of just this that we live in, that is very player-driven in basketball, the women's game is starting to figure it out in college, and men's college is like Bronny's not even in the tournament. Like, no one, like that's the only guy I know, Bronny and this dude from Kentucky, Wagner. They're already out. So it's like,
and you look at the draft, and it's mostly international guys in the top 5. So I think there's like 3 international guys in the top 5.
Yeah, it's like nowadays it's like international guy, G League elite, overtime elite. Oh, that player from that college. Like it's like damn, it's a whole new world there. But we obviously digressed when we talk about Kentucky, whatever. But yeah, back to football. So you guys are not doing anything. Oh yeah, what's your name? What's your coach's name again? Mayo.
Mayo,
Did he
yeah.
did he have something to say about somebody? Like I saw he was on at my job. ESPN's always on, and they were like, "Oh, what are your thoughts on what he said?" I don't know what he said. Did he say anything about Bill Belichick or something like that?
I don't know that. I don't think I saw that he did say anything about Belichick,
Okay.
actually. I
They
know that
said
he
like
said something about the draft. I saw that Matthew Slater was calling that documentary bullshit on Julian Edelman's podcast. The
have you watched
Dynasty
it?
I have not, and I refuse to.
Why?
I don't support the Kraft family.
Why? Because they don't spend money.
Well, yeah, because they don't spend money, and because they it's all lies, dude. I don't believe any of the shit that comes out. He's constantly fucking just throwing Bill under the bus, and it's bullshit.
Damn. Hey, Rod, are you gonna watch it? The Patriots Dynasty documentary.
Isn't it out already?
Have you been watching it?
Yeah, it's out.
Fucking hate that team. Why would I watch it?
Okay, because like you watch all these Hard Knock shit. Like I personally only want to watch the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl episode, and that's it. Which they left out Nick Foles' name in the like. I actually I ain't gonna watch that shit either. Like I don't really have an opinion. I was
Who made it? Who made it?
Apple TV, right?
Yeah, it was produced by the Kraft. It was produced by the Kraft family.
Oh God. Oh,
yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't support
the
it.
The Kraft family produced it.
Yeah, like one of his companies. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I would understand a beat writer who's been watching, who was there the whole time, that knows all the nitty gritty. Now that's something that you can get some real juicy stuff on pause. But like, I know for like, we all grew up in the Patriots dynasty era. We watched the whole thing happen. Like we literally physically watched it. There's nothing that they can show me that I don't already know. Like outside of whatever they try to like depict to make it seem better for them. So yeah, I ain't watching that shit. Yeah, all right, cool.
Back to the change.
And what?
Back to the rule change.
So yeah, we'll start with the hip drop tackle situation. Obviously, we as sport fans all the time, we don't like change. And there's always this argument that the NFL is getting softer and softer, but for obvious reasons, there's a reason why. Because they all watched the same movie we watched. They watched Concussion, saw people was taking their heads off, and now it's like, all right, we ain't trying to get sued for millions of dollars. So And I'll pass the floor to you, A-Rod, because like my opinion on all these rule changes, it's not because they actually care about the player's safety. It's because they ain't trying to get sued. And
Trying to pay out.
everything. My biggest problem that I have, not with just sports, everything in general. I talk about it in my job. I talk about it all the time. Like I don't like reactionary shit all the time. At some point, you got to be proactive. And to me, all this shit that they've been doing over the last 10 years, it's like reactive, reactive, reactive. But let's still add in more games to the schedule. Let's still put all this turf field in MetLife Stadium and every other new stadium. Let's still, like all this shit. It's like, do you really care about the player safety, or are you just trying to cover your ass? And unfortunately, with the players, is like every 10 years they got these. The CBA comes out and they try to vote. They try to vote on this, that, and the third. But you're trying to tell somebody who's making $50 million a year to agree with somebody who's making $145,000 a year. That's the long snapper. You know what I mean? And it's like we all need a hold because we need long-term health care. Because you play a game your whole life that's very physical, from the age of like 6 to like 30, and not everyone gets to that 30. But from like 6 to 30, like you're probably going to be a little banged up, and they don't want to pay, the insurance anything past the moment you're not an NFL player anymore. So it's like it's important, and they just need to do it. To me, they just got to figure out how to not ruin like the integrity of the game, put all this pressure on the referees, because like now the referees got to be like, what the hell is a hip drop tackle, right? How do like it's already hard to govern like what the hell is a roughing the passer, because now it's like you don't know what to do with that. Now it's like what's a pass interference, what's a catch, what's targeting, and now is that tackle legal? And that's a lot for a defensive player to think about, and that's a lot for these referees who are only getting paid game money for it. God knows what sport book they got their money on, because we all know that's a thing. And speaking of crazy wacky things, we have to talk about. At the end, we got to talk about that Toronto Raptors player. But yeah. So, A-Rod, I mean, what do you? I mean, what's your opinion on this whole hip drop shit?
It's. I mean, I'm with you 100% that it's more reactive, if anything, and they're not looking out for the players' best interests. They're looking out for the league's best interest, because if they do get sued, then they got to pay out like they have been, and they don't want to pay out. And NFL owners are greedy. We all know that. So it's a new thing every year, and it's making me like soccer more. Like I'd rather watch soccer more than I'd rather watch football now. So, and then even with soccer, it's like VR has the what's really even offsides anymore. Like I don't even know what's offsides. Like if your finger is just over the line, you're considered offside. So I don't know. Like sports, we talk about this all the time. When you take out the element of
Jerry Jones says human frailty
yes,
is a part of the game, and
it is.
AI and computers is wiping all that shit out.
It is, and I feel like the more we add, it's wild, and I think with this change, like if you see a player that's targeting or leading with the helmet and stuff, like he's trying to tackle someone, but he's also trying to knock him out the game. There's something that can be said about that. There's a lot of plays where I see guys, they flag you for leading with the helmet, and there's a lot of times that I see them lead with the helmet and there's nothing thrown for them. I'm like, this is more dangerous than that or this. Like I don't get it. What are we trying to protect players at this point or what at this point? So I don't know. With all these rule changes, like something's going to change every year, but yet we keep adding more games. Yeah. So now it's like we want people engaged. We want more fans to be happy with us. Let's add another game, but there's also injury that comes in with that. So now you're taking out a common common element of tackling for these players. Then now they're going to be like, I can't do that, otherwise it's a flag or it's a penalty now. So I don't care, man. I really don't. It's the league's going to do what the league's going to do, and it's annoying. It's all annoying to me.
Vic.
Yeah, I'm with A-Rod here. I understand that it's all about protecting the players. I get that. But at some point, we need to realize that it's still it's a I don't know what's the word. It's not dangerous. It's not a dangerous game, but I'm going to use dangerous as a placeholder for now. It's a dangerous
These
game.
are modern day gladiators. Put it that way. Like,
yeah. So I mean, you don't see MMA, switching stuff around so that way, they can. I know this sounds horrible, but the hip drop tackle is part of the game. I know people have been injured by it, but it's part of the game. At some point, we're just going to have guys running around pulling flags. So when is it going to stop? Is my thing, and hopefully that stops here.
basically, the Pro Bowl is about to be what we see every day because like so basically what they're asking players to do, that if there's a guy who you're trying to tackle and you're behind him, you have to be extra careful while you're tackling him. But you're telling somebody who's 6'5", 230 pounds, running a 4.4 40 to stop on a dime and think, how do I tackle this guy? Because like, what I mean, my objective is to bring this man down to the ground so that we can stop this play from becoming a touchdown. If they really want to see 100, 105, like they want to see NBA scores in the NFL, by all means, go for it. But that's not the NFL that I'm used to. And that's not I watched the Arena Football League. This is not the Arena Football League. Like that shit used to be like 86 to 70, like NFL Blitz. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just it's weird. I was looking at I was trying to find some data and everything like that about like how much hip drop tackles that actually happen. Like according to NFL executive Jeff Miller, he said that the hip drop tackle was used 230 times last season and resulted in 15 players missing times with injuries, which is a 6.5% injury rate. Basically, so all the tackles that happened last year, only 1% were defined as a hip drop. So now, because they made it a rule, that 1% is going to become way more because the referee is going to be like, that looks like something that doesn't look like a clean tackle. That might be a hip drop. Oh, I don't know what that was. That might be a hip drop. So think about it. And all the tackles, only 230 of them were hip drops. And unfortunately for those 15 players got hurt. And the problem is that, for example, Tom Brady, when he tore his ACL back in 08, 09, whatever, you can't hit the quarterback down low anymore. Patrick Mahomes, he got hip drop tackle. He was hobbling around. Mark Andrews got hip drop tackle. He missed almost the rest of the season. Nope. When superstar players are affected by a rule, like overtime rules, Josh Allen, he didn't get the ball. They changed the overtime rules. So it's just, to me, all of it is always just to protect the star players. That's what they really care about. Because like nobody wants to watch the Super Bowl of Gardner Minshew versus Blake Bortles. Like nobody wants to watch that. We want to see Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady's and Josh Allen's and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we're at with that. But another rule change, the new kickoff rules. They adopted the XFL situation. Again, another thing they wanted to do to protect from concussions. They started with the wedge block change a few years ago. Now it's they all line up like 5 yards in front of each other, and they can't move until the kickoff returner gets the ball. Now, the cool thing about it is it's going to lead to increased kickoff returns. Apparently, it just looks a little weird. I haven't read too much about it. I've been watching video, and then I watched some like the UFL and XFL and all that shit last year. So, have you guys been paying attention to that at all?
Nope. Don't care. Just make it so. Just make it so.
It is what it is. I mean, I just hope that special teamers can still have jobs because, like, you want to make sure that the special team coach, like, without a special teams coach, we wouldn't have Harbaugh with Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like, without special teamers, Devin Hester wouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Fame. So I want to make sure that we're not first ballot, but a Hall of Famer. I want to make sure that we're keeping people employed in the NFL that need to be employed. So, but that's pretty much all I got with the NFL. A-Rod, we didn't talk about the Jets. Anything you need to add about the Jets?
Just break my heart. I'm ready for it. Just break my heart.
And for me, Jalen Hurts is trying to get my boy Kelsey back. Man, if Kelsey comes back for one more year, one more rendezvous.
I like what Saquon said to him on the podcast. He said it's going to be great to watch, and he said you don't have to.
You don't have to watch. He said it with a straight face. I was like, that's my yo. I've always been a Saquon fan. Like I think I've said this before. Like I've always been a fan of Saquon. I was like, how do you not be a fan of Saquon? The fact that he's wearing my jersey now, well, not my jersey, but my favorite team's jersey, it's like
It's awesome.
you can't make this shit up. Like when people that you really like are like, has there ever been a player that used to not play for the Patriots that, oh my God, I can't believe this person's wearing a Patriot jersey that like made you like so happy?
No, Celtics. And his name is Kristaps Porzingis.
So all these years you were waiting for Kristaps?
I don't know if I was waiting for Kristaps, but I loved Kristaps' game. He was one of my favorite players when he came out of the draft that year. And I just love, and the fact that we even had a chance to get him and now have him, I mean, it's excellent.
Anybody for you? Any sport?
Alex Rodriguez with the Yankees for me, for sure.
So you was already like on that train and then he showed up?
Bro, we had the same name, man. That was my favorite player as a kid. Him and Ken Griffey and Cal Ripken. Those are my favorite.
As a Yankees fan, though, it's easy because you expect to get those kind of. It's like if I grew up a Lakers fan, it's like I'd be like spoiled, like whatever. But like as a Sixers fan, like when LeBron was leaving Cleveland, I was like, bro, if we get LeBron, I will cry.
He almost became a Red Sox, though. I was like, shoot, man, I'm gonna have to root for a Red Sox player. But the deal fell through at the very end, and I was surprised the Yankees went in there and got him. So, and he was going to play shortstop. He wasn't going to play third for the Red Sox. He said, "I'll play third," and allow Jeter to keep playing shortstop because they were trying to move Jeter to third, and everyone in the locker room was like, "No, this is our shortstop." So,
has there ever been a player, and I know Johnny Damon's going to be one of those, but has there ever been a player that left your team and went to the rival? Like for me, when Terrell Owens became a Cowboy, I still couldn't not like him. I'm like, I still love you, T.O. Like, so it's like it was weird to see me like cheer for his success in a Cowboys jersey, but that was still my guy. What about anybody, Vic? Anybody that's left the Red Sox or the Celtics or Ray Allen? Like, who would it be for you?
I mean, it's Marcus Smart, right?
But you don't hate Memphis.
No. I mean, I don't. I mean, I hate that we had to lose Marcus. You know who I hate? I hate the Clippers because that's the reason we lost Marcus Smart was because we had to trade Marcus Smart because they were all good for Brogdon and then they fucking backed up the last minute. So I hate the fucking Clippers for that.
And Sammy, you got to come back and atone for your sins because the Clippers are trash again. So we're about to go into the NBA. But A-Rod, anybody for you that left your team and went to a team like, oh my God, I can't believe he's there?
No, nobody that I can think of off the top of my head. Just like.
What about Revis to the Pats?
Ooh.
Yeah, that might be it. But I was more happy for him. It just hurt that it was with the Pats. That would probably because Revis.
It was the same thing with T.O. Same thing with T.O. I was like, I mean, come on, man. Like, whatever, bro.
Because we dicked him over, man. So like when Bill called him and you know how that call went, hey, you want to make $13 million and win a Super Bowl just for 1 year? Don't expect to be here your whole career. Like, you know, I'm happy for him. But yeah, that one definitely hurt me. I was like, I had to be the Patriots. Why couldn't it be the Chiefs? Yeah.
Damn. All right, cool. All right. Speaking of Kristaps and speaking of Marcus Smart and speaking of all these NBA players and the Clippers and all this shit, ESPN Plus came out with a list of NBA players with the most on the line going into the postseason. I was very intrigued by this list. And Vic, I'll start with you because the number one person on the top of this list has been Jason Tatum. Now, we've been talking about Tatum for a while on this show.
Trying to pull up the list, yeah.
And pull up the list. And one of my new favorite podcasts outside of the Fairweather podcast, so my second favorite podcast now is going to be LeBron and JJ Redick's podcast because I'm a basketball nerd, and to listen to these two savants talking about basketball the way they break it down, it's like pause. Like it makes me like, yeah, you know what I mean? It makes me happy, dog. It does.
Diddy. No Diddy.
No Diddy. It makes me happy. But LeBron talked about it. He was like, yo, people need to chill out with Tatum because like he is. I mean, how old is he? What, 25, 26?
Yes, and that was gonna be my point as well.
So he made a really good point, but for whatever reason, he's still at the top of this list. And the thing with Tatum, which I understand, Tatum's been successful since he got into the league. So it's like I think the league is just ready for like, yo, when are you gonna win this shit? Like that's how I interpret it. But what do you think, Vic? Like, do you think he has the most to prove?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that. I think it's all bullshit. I think ESPN puts this shit out to try and piss off fans to get reactions. That's what they do. That's what they're good at. and it's bullshit. I mean, Jason Tatum, and this is the first time you're gonna ever hear me say I agree with LeBron, and I know why he's doing it. He's doing it because he wants to fucking play with Tatum.
Oh, stop!
And it's
God
bullshit.
Chill the fuck out. No, we ain't doing
suck
that.
A dick.
I wish we had the mute button right now. We could just mute him, man.
No, it's bullshit.
Shit, for real.
It's bullshit.
You just lost 20 points like around the horn. You just
No. Jason Tatum does not have the most to prove. He's 26 years old. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals for the past 4 years. I mean, what else does this guy need to prove? He does need to get over the hump. He needs to win a ship. Yes, eventually. But I don't think the most on the line this year. I mean, if you're giving me this bullshit list that they gave me, I mean, I get. What about Kevin Durant? What about Kawhi Leonard? What about James Harden, who has never won a fucking championship?
They're on here.
But they're so low. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden, in my opinion, are the three most. Those three need to prove something because they've been.
Can I take Kawhi out of here and say Paul George and James Harden? Because Kawhi's done it. Absolutely. He's done it. We've seen him actually do it. Fair. But also Kevin Durant. Let's see him do it without Steph Curry. You know. I don't think Giannis has anything to prove. He already won a championship, and I mean this list is just stupid.
Dame to prove too.
Dame Lillard does have a lot to prove. And what about Luka Doncic? I want him. Can he make a fucking Western Conference final? Can he win a playoff series?
The Western Conference final with Jalen Brunson.
All right, well let's see him do it again. I mean that's a guy that's supposed to be the best guy in the league right now, right? According to everybody. That's the guy that everybody would start their franchise with. Well, guess what? This guy doesn't win playoff series. He doesn't. So let's see him do it. I don't understand why everybody's coming after Jason Tatum and why he's Joker on the fucking list. I mean, this is the dumbest list.
Of course. The Joker thing, that one was confusing. I was like,
of course it's Brian Windhorst. Of course it's Brian Windhorst.
Maybe they're saying he needs to win back-to-back. I don't know, but that one was very confusing to me.
This is the worst. This is the worst. And list I've ever seen in my life.
Paolo on the list too. I mean, Paolo's just 1 year in.
Evan Mobley, get the fuck out of here.
What I was gonna ask you is who do we take out and who do we need to bump up this list? So
Paul George and James Harden are number 1 and 2 for me.
For people who don't have this list in front of them, Tatum is on there, and they got Jokic, Zion. So Zion, I understand with Zion, the NBA wanted to anoint him as the guy. And then he kind of struggled a little bit with his weight and everything. But see, A-Rod, you talked about the Rockets, you talked about the Pelicans. We got to look at the Pelicans. Zion has been balling. Like Zion, the Zion we thought we were going to get, we're getting it, and we're starting to get it right now. And to me, Zion, the Pelicans could really make some noise if they're all healthy. I don't know if he has to prove. They're going to make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Let's see him make the playoffs. Let's see him win a playoff series. But I don't think you take Jason Tatum and Nikola Jokic off this list. This is ridiculous.
No, Jason Tatum is number 1.
All right,
Jason Tatum is number 1. He's basically
that's ridiculous.
No, it's not. You're a fan, and you have all the right to be that way. That's fine.
What team does Jason Tatum play for?
The Boston Celtics.
What do you think? He's like this is what you get when you have 17 world championships. If you play for the Lakers, the Celtics, the Yankees, the Cowboys, you get the most credit and the most hate or whatever you want to call it, right? Because he's the face of the Boston Celtics, and I mean, think about it. LeBron he played against LeBron in 2018 in that great playoff series that they had, and that was 6 years ago. And it's like to everybody, he'd already emerged, right? So it's like now that he's already emerged, it's like, all right, now what? And since then, we've seen Jimmy Butler, get to 2 finals. We've seen, what other? Who else is in? Who else would you compare in his era as far as age and everything like that?
I mean, Jimmy Butler's still 6 years older than him. You guys are forgetting. This guy's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is on his level, is his age, pretty much. You know what I mean? Those are the guys that are his age. So to say that Luka Doncic is his age, never made a finals yet. been to only one one conference finals. Karl Anthony Towns is his age. Like those are his contemporaries that haven't done shit in the league. Now I understand a lot comes with being successful in the league, which they have been, I understand that. But to say that he has the most to prove is asinine. He has nothing to prove to anybody. Yes, they need to win a championship. The team needs to win the championship. I agree. But they're the best team. They're the best team in the league right now. They're dominating teams. But
man. He's the most. He's like Karl Malone. He's like Karl Malone right now, man.
Dude, listen, he's 26 years old, man.
He's 26 in his. All right, he's 26, right? He's in his 7th season, right? Let's look at all the greats that we've had and talk about how the media started covering him in the 7th season. Michael Jordan, as much as like they loved him in the 80s, they were like, yo, all he does is jump high and score. And they were starting to give him shit until he won. LeBron, like Kobe was fortunate. Shaq came in early. Kobe got his shit out the way early, right? So he had time to kind of just fail again and then come back and get it. Durant, he made that by year 7. Think about it. By year 7, Durant was getting all of it, and that's why he panicked and went to Golden State so they can leave him alone. Now he's getting it back again, obviously. But like LeBron, his 7th year, they were like, "Yo, what the hell?" So what did he do? All right, cool. Boston got this. I'm gonna go to Miami and get my own. Like by year 7, the way it seems for big time NBA caliber players, they just like, all right, bro, now what you got? You know what I mean? Like Giannis, when did he win his ring? What was it? Year 7? Like
year 7, 8, yeah.
Year 8, yeah. So this is about the time in which, unfortunately he came in at 18, 19 years old. It's like, all right, bro, it's year 7. Like, it's time.
Listen, Vic, you gotta it's not that we're dogging Jason Tatum. I think he's a great player, but you can't tell me like the fire isn't under his ass to win. Like, how many do you want him to be Karl Malone? Do you want
yes, I agree. The fire is under his ass to win. I get that. But to say that, he has the most to prove,
He does. James Harden and Paul George, or James Harden is now a role player. As much as you want to carve it up, he's more of a role player than he is a superstar.
I will say, Rod, I think
James Harden.
I think James Harden has a lot to prove too.
I think he does too. He does. I think the top 3 are Tatum, Paul George, and James Harden. Those are the top 3 for me.
What about Dame?
Dame is 4. Dame is 4. I think you can put Paul
Luka
George.
Gets a pass.
You can put Paul George and James Harden on the same line if you want. For me, I don't care either or.
Did you say
Luka gets a pass?
Did you say that Luka get a pass?
Yeah, so Luka gets a pass.
Luka doesn't have a great team.
This is the best team he's had since he's been in the NBA. Boston, Tatum's always had a good team. Like
he had Jalen Brunson.
Basketball.
It's because he had Jalen Brunson. He was on the bench, man. Like, come on.
This is the best team Jason Tatum has had. This is the best team Jason Tatum has had.
No, it is not. No, it's not. Don't.
You do remember?
Are you kidding me?
That Boston team should have beat Cleveland. Y'all should have made the finals in 2018. Like that Boston team was good. So
don't do this. Just don't. Jalen Brown.
Actually, A-Rod, this is the best team he's had. This is the best team. I will agree with that. Like you got Kristaps who's still in his prime. Al Horford, who doesn't have the age.
No, they had the point guard with fucking Kyrie.
But he was hurt.
That was it. They had Kyrie and Peanuts. Yeah. And they had Jalen Brown and Fisher 3.
The Drew Holiday fit on this team is immaculate. Like that, I will say. You gotta stop blowing 30-point leads though. But Drew Holiday fit on this team is immaculate. You know what I mean? Derek White, for how much I make fun of him, he's a great fit for this team. Like this team fit. I don't know. Me, this is the best fit team that the Celtics have had since KG and them. Like fit wise, like it's like every piece fits together. So that's why the pressure's on, because at the end of the day, it's like you don't have an excuse now. Like when they lost to the Warriors in the finals, the Celtics were the better team. But we talk about experience, and basketball IQ and all that shit. The Warriors won that shit off of straight basketball IQ and experience. If the Celtics that year had the same type of mental IQ and mental like toughness that they probably have a little bit more of now, they would have beat them in 5. Because I remember going into we predicted it. We did a prediction show. I said Celtics in 5. Like I was that confident. So now that we've seen him in the finals fail, when we saw LeBron in the finals fail, it's like, all right, now it's time for you to win. Jordan was getting close. It's time for you to win. Like we see those with certain type of players. They're gonna get that type of pressure. So too much, what do they say? The one that wears the crown the heaviest or whatever. Like that's just what it is. Like the crown, he plays for Boston. He's got to wear that crown. Like
to whom much is given, much is tested.
Thank you, Ira, I appreciate it. But they also say that whoever's crown is the heaviest or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Whatever. But he said he wants to be the face of the league, right? Like think about it. There's a reason why Anthony Edwards' name is not on his list because he plays for Minnesota. If Anthony Edwards played for Boston, his shit would be number 1 too.
It is on the list, but
it is.
Yeah,
at the end, yeah. But like, think about it. Cat and Tobias Harris are at the end. Like Tobias Harris is on the list because we pay him too much money. Cat because they pay him so much money, and Ant say he wants to be the face of the list. But if Ant,
why is it? Yeah. Go ahead.
If Ant plays for Boston, he'll be at the top of the list. Like plain and simple.
I just don't know why Joel Embiid should be near the top of the list too. That's a guy that
he's up there.
Again, hasn't been to the conference finals.
He's fourth. He's fourth on the list.
But
pressure for him is like he's, to his defense, he's coming back from injury. So it's like, all right,
Vic,
you have an excuse.
Vic, let's fast forward. And there's still no championship for Tatum. And we're like, he's year 7. Let's say it's year 10 now. Is there more pressure now? If it's year 10?
100%. Year 10, yeah. Year 10. Once we get past year 7, this is his last year, in my opinion, without any pressure, right?
Because he's French guy right now. Okay.
No, because if you think about it, like the greats, like we just said, all won in year 8, year 9, year 10. Those are the years where not everybody Steph Curry can win year 6. So, this is really his time to take the reins. And that's why I'm not on him too much right now. But I will, this is the best. You guys made great points. This is the best team he's had, right? Well, I said that.
Behind that.
But
I can get behind that.
I agreed with you.
So I think as a team, the Celtics have the most to lose or the most to prove right now, right? Can they get over that hump as a team? Can Joe Mazzulla take them to that problem? They've been blowing out teams by 20-something points. Yes, they had a loss, whatever. They just had a loss, but before that, they hadn't lost a game in like 8 games, and they had been blowing teams out. So, I just think a little bit of complacency there in the last game, but that's fine. They've already locked up the number 1 seed. This team has the most pressure to win as a team. Yes, but individually, I still don't think the most pressure should be on Jason Tatum.
But when you want to say you want to be the face of the league, man, that's
when you go out and say it.
What's he supposed to say? What's Eli Manning supposed to say? Or what's Joe Flacco supposed to say when they ask him if he's elite?
You want him to say that, but when you think of the Boston Celtics, who do you think of right now?
Of course, Jason Tatum. Yeah, 100%.
When you think of the Patriots back in the day, who did you think of? Tom Brady. Okay, who got the most fingers pointed at him? The best freaking player. It ain't gonna be Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown should be on this list for sure. I don't know why.
Jaylen Brown he could do no wrong. He's the highest paid player in the league. Nobody gives a shit. He averages 22 points a game. He's very, to me, he's a like I would love to be in his shoes. Like he has no pressure. Like think about it. Yeah. Scottie and Jordan. Scottie just had to be the best defender, best rebounder, best assist, all that shit. Michael Jordan still had all the pressure. At the end of the day, it was all on Michael Jordan.
But that's
LeBron,
the thing. That's the thing.
LeBron, if they lose, LeBron getting dragged through the media. You know what I mean? Like, and Durant.
Don't give a shit.
Now, no matter what Durant does, he getting dragged. Bradley Beal is on his list. Ain't nobody care if Bradley Beal wins or not. Devin Booker, ain't nobody care if Devin Booker. Like Durant's on that team. You know what I mean? It's like certain players when a certain light is put on them, you got to put up or shut up. Honestly,
listen,
but
Vic,
that's
Vic,
the thing, Jaylen Brown.
Listen, Vic. I'm not hating on Tatum because I love Tatum's game. I love the basketball player of Jason Tatum, but yeah, I feel like he has the most pressure, man. And I'm not saying that it's like an individual thing. I'm just saying for like his legacy, for everything that has going on for him. I want him to succeed. It pains me to say I would love for him to win a championship, but I like his game. I like the individual that he is. I like what he's brought to the Boston Celtics. I think he's great for the city. I think everything he in that you want in a basketball player, you're gonna get out of him. But like I said, with too much is given, much is tested. So he's gotta be the one. The fingers are gonna point to him. You already see it right now when he's missing last game shots. Who are they?
Yeah, now they're paying attention to it. All this fadeaways and shit.
Everybody's paying attention to it, and you can't. That's a hard shot. Let's be honest. Not everybody can Reggie Miller that at the last second or Michael Jordan it. Like we get that. We understand that. But I don't put him up to that kind of caliber. But if you're gonna go down as Karl Malone, like we all know, Karl Malone is the third greatest scorer of all time now. Was 2 for the longest, but he could never get over the Jordan hump.
So then, in your opinion, has Jason Tatum taken LeBron's mantle as the most hated? Not most hated, but most criticized.
I think he can become that. I think he can become
close.
Unless he wins it in the next few years, then he's going to become that.
Who's the more criticized player in the NBA?
Tatum doesn't talk a lot, so because he stays out of the media for the most part, he's not going to be somebody who's going to be as hated. Like the reason why Durant is hated because he talks and he lets it be known. This is how I feel.
And he's got
burner accounts, all that shit. Like to me, Tatum is going to be protected, even though he's going to get criticized. He's not going to be hated. And then we're talking about players that won later in their career. I mean, let's be honest. We talk about Luke. He was like, what about Luka, right? Dirk Nowitzki, same shit. He won in 2011. He was drafted in '98. He was allowed to fail and fail. He won MVPs and failed. Yeah. No one really gave him a hard time because he plays for the Dallas Mavericks. Put Dirk Nowitzki on the Lakers or the Celtics, they'd have been dragging his name through the media, like all the way through. That's just how it is, bro. The reason why Kristaps Porzingis is on his list because he got drafted by the Knicks, and now he's playing for the Celtics. Like he's expected to be this unicorn. We're ready to see it. This is where we're at. That's where we're at. So. Yeah, it's gonna be this playoffs is gonna be very just exciting until it's probably still gonna be Boston versus Denver. But you look at like the West, 2 through the Rockets. And it's like who knows what the hell's gonna happen. You look at the East, Milwaukee. Clearly they're showing that they're not invincible, bro. Like they've shown time and time again. Yeah, we can get got, bro. Like we got beat by Austin Reeves, triple double. Beat by, and Dame, like Giannis, he won his ring. He balled out. He deserved that one. Dame, he's got a lot to prove. Like he's really got a lot to prove. But fortunately for Dame, he played for Portland. He played for Milwaukee. If he would have went to the Lakers, or he would have went to the Knicks, or he would have went to Boston, this would be another story. This would be another story. So. Yeah, let's go. I'll leave. This was a great topic, by the way. I looked at this list. I was like, yo, this is gonna be fun. So I was gonna say this was exciting for me. But and then A-Rod, you think Jalen Brunson got any pressure? I mean, I don't.
I mean, I want to give him pressure, but like it's too early in his career. This if the Knicks make it with him in the playoffs this year, like it's year 2. Okay, he's establishing himself. And I don't know what the team's going to look like next year. Like the Celtics are poised to stay together for a while. The Knicks, we don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know what's going to happen with Julius Randle. I don't know what's going to happen with Mitchell Robinson.
That's the wild card.
Yeah, like I just don't know. So I think he's going to start getting pressure. Yeah, like I'm not saying that he shouldn't have any, but I feel like he should be on the list, but a little bit lower on the list. I don't think Evan Mobley should be on there. I don't know why Evan.
Yeah, that was weird. Donovan Mitchell should be on there.
Same thing.
Donovan Mitchell has pressure to me. Like that's somebody who has pressure. Like
Paolo just walked through the door and they're like, "Hey, man, you're on the list."
But that one was different. Donovan, he plays for Cleveland. Had he gone to the Knicks, what do you think he'd be on his list? So all the way at the top. So Vic, it's okay, bro. It's not personal, dog. It's just you're a Celtics fan, bro. This is what you got to deal with. That's what you got to deal with. What it is. But yeah, that's all I got with basketball. Due to time constraints, the MLB is about to kick off, and I know we want to kind of preview the season, but we're gonna table this because me and A-Rod about to do this fantasy baseball draft. So any last words, Vic? Who should I draft, bro? You got anybody who I should
I
draft?
have watched zero baseball. I am currently downloading MLB The Show, so give me some time and let me learn some of those players, and then I'll let you know.
Boy, welcome back. We miss you.
Yeah.
Hey, Rod, you got a first round pick?
Yeah, I already got mine.
Like, all right, because like I don't have a first or a second, so I'm chilling right now. But um, any all right.
You have a
Now
first and a second. I'm looking at the board. You have a first and a second already up.
I already mine's already taken care of because I got Julio Rodriguez, my favorite player in the league. You know what I'm saying? And then my second round, who I got in the second round?
Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker. And then hey, Vic, you gonna like this? You know who my keeper is in the 25th round? Paul Skeens.
I don't know who the hell that is.
That's he's an LSU the LSU number one
Overall
pitcher prospect.
pitcher.
He with that chick Livy Dunn or whatever.
Oh really? Oh, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like is this a keeper league or like a dynasty league?
Yeah. Three keepers.
I would 3 keepers. Oh, I don't know about that then. I think Marcelo Meyer is, if you're in a deep league and you have like a dynasty league, Marcelo Meyer is a guy to keep your eye on.
See, this is the type of shit I like to hear, bro. This is what I like to hear. Hey, Rod, you close your ears, bro. I need some more.
No,
Well, this is like, I'm talking, he's probably not gonna make an impact this year, but
he probably won't get playing time until the end of the year if he does get playing time.
Yeah, touche. All right. Hey, Rod, where can they find us at?
You can find us on Twitter at fair_weather_pod. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Search the Fairweather Podcast. And where you subscribe or listen to podcast audio, you can catch us there as well. Where's the wisdom somebody, if we have any?
Hey, my favorite meme or GIF, whatever that I saw was the diddler.
my words of wisdom is heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Thank
heavy
you.
is the head that wears
There
the
we
crown.
go.
There we go.
There we go. Hey, baseball's back. Spring is here. The air show is this weekend, and if you care about the air show, it is time to get our summer bodies in check. Let's go to the gym and let's get healthy because we're going outside this summer. All right, we're going outside.
All right, boys.
Peace.
I'll catch you later, boys.